Welcome back to Cord Cutting Today, where we break down some of the biggest stories happening in the world of cord cutting, including major changes coming to MSNBC, pay cuts, and a lineup shakeup coming. This comes as their ratings have plummeted recently. Also, cable TV's lost over 5 million subscribers so far this year. And lastly, the final end of the WWE Network, a groundbreaking streaming service at the time, is coming to an end. We'll tell you about these stories and a whole lot more in a quick second. First though, if you want to learn more about any of these stories, check out the show notes down below, and in the first pinned comment I'll put a link to each story there so you can read them for yourself and come up with your own opinions. I'd love to hear from you. If you're new here, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up. Doing one or both lets YouTube know you enjoy what we do here, so YouTube recommends our videos to more people, helping us grow and hopefully helping you break free from the high cost of TV and still watch the shows you enjoy. With that said, let's dive into it. MSNBC is reportedly cutting Rachel Maddow's salary by millions a year. This comes as the reducing amount of time she'll be on TV. Also, it's being reported, according to the Inkler, that there's about to be a major shakeup in their scheduling, as some hosts will be getting less time and others be getting more time. This comes as ratings have plummeted recently for MSNBC and CNN. And Fox News sees theirs grow. According to the report, with this, MSNBC has seen their daytime ratings fall 38%. CNN saw theirs drop 27%, but Fox News saw theirs go up 41%. Now, I would assume if the recent election went the other way, it would be the other way around. But it's very interesting to see this, and now they're making major changes. Now, if you remember when it was announced last week that MSNBC, CNBC, and Sci-Fi are being split off into an independent company separate from Comcast, I mentioned that this is probably just the first move, that I was expecting to see some cuts. And why I said that at the time, I think is still very true. Advertising revenue is often historically high during election years because all these political ads are flooding cable TV, radio, internet, all these places. When that comes to an end, the ad revenue plummets, and then you have to decide what you're going to do. I think many cable networks were holding off on making big changes because of the 2024 being an election year. They were trying to rake in as much money as they could off of the higher ratings for news organizations, but also higher ad revenue because of it being in a political ad season. Now that that's over, I think you're seeing quite a few make major layoffs. You're hearing reports that CNN is about to do the same thing. And now it seems like MSNBC may not be laying off people, but maybe cutting salaries and reshuffling their lineups to maybe cheaper, newer staff. We'll see how that plays out. Look for this to become more and more common, not just in news organizations, but cable networks across the board. Now that the ad boom is over, they now have to find out how they can be successful in a post-ad world. I'll be interested to see how this comes, but MSNBC in particular has been hit very hard by this. Now they're having to find ways to become profitable or sustainable in a new world, especially now that in the next year or so they're going to be completely spun off from Comcast and are going to have to do more to survive on their own without the resources of Comcast behind them. All right, this is part of also a growing trend. According to numbers, cable TV companies in our next story have lost over 5 million subscribers in 2024. Total, it's estimated about 5.7 million people in the first 3 quarters of 2024 have canceled cable TV and gone streaming only. Does not surprise me. Now, this is going to be up from 2023. And so far, in the first half, they did about 4 million. It would not surprise me at all to see this number get up close to 7, maybe even if it's a really big fourth quarter, 8 million, but I think that's probably stretching it a little bit. Increasingly, Americans are not seeing need for cable TV, and they're rather going to streaming. And even more scary, they're not picking up necessarily free ad-supported streaming services. Now, some are. Now, YouTube TV and others are seeing subscribers grow, but a large chunk of these new cord cutters are going straight into things like Netflix, Amazon, Disney Plus, and others here, Hulu and more. There's just not a reason. If you're not a sports fan, and maybe a news fan, there's not really a reason to pay for live TV. It's a thing that I really am starting to think is becoming real for many Americans. The fact that, hey, yeah, I could get FX and watch that, but between Disney Plus and Hulu, I get all the stuff that's on FX. So why am I paying for cable to sit through commercials and not watch it when I want to watch it, when I could just get one of these services for a fraction of the cost? Even subscribing to 4 or 5 services can be significantly cheaper than one live TV service and give you a whole lot more content. So beyond this, Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, and Amazon Prime Video is more content than you're going to get from cable TV for a fraction of the cost. I think this is going to continue to be a reality, and it's going to continue to put pressure on smaller cable companies. We've already seen some shut down, and it's predicted that as many as 50 could shut down next year. All right, next story up. The WWE Network, which at the time was a groundbreaking streaming service giving a huge access to sporting events for the WWE content, is shutting down. Now, in the United States, this was merged into Peacock some time ago. Internationally, it was available still in other markets. Now this is all being rolled into Netflix as some of the content moves there in 2025, and the rest of WWE content, if I remember correctly, rolls out over there in 2026. But in international markets, starting in January, you'll no longer be able to access WWE content through the WWE Network. And eventually this content will also leave Peacock, if I understand it right. Kind of a sad. Now, yes, for a variety of reasons. Most people don't care about WWE, but it proved a business model at the time that was in question. Could a service like this become successful? And this led to the launch of many other sports-related streaming services in the future. WWE Network showed there was a demand for back catalog of older sporting events, on-demand access, and more, not without its own hiccups and glitches over time. But it led to a very into a business model that we see today that led cord cutting forward. It showed cord cutting as a real business model that later became successful for many others out there. But let me know, have you ever subscribed to the WWE Network? Are you a fan? I'd love to hear from you. All right, Fox and Hulu have struck a new multi-year deal to keep Fox shows on Disney-owned Hulu and Disney Plus and others. Now, I already getting comments, well, didn't Disney buy Fox? Yes and no. They bought the studios, but Fox local network, the Fox channel, all your local Foxes, Fox News, Fox Business, Fox Sports, remained with an independent Fox corporation. And that's why I think they rebranded the studios to 21st Century Studios or something like that, 20th Century, something like that was rebranded. So, yes, they bought the movies and the studios, but they did not buy the local TV stations. And that's where this deal comes in. It gives these platforms access to The Simpsons, Hulu, The Masked Singer, and others to remain on Hulu. It's all fine points, but basically Fox is paying Disney to produce these shows, air it on Fox. It gives them the rights for distribution, and then they're licensing it back. I know that I'm probably way oversimplifying that, but the good news here is that Hulu is going to remain the place to go to for most of the Fox content. You're not going to have another Fox-branded streaming service on that. Speaking of streaming, more A&E network programs are coming to Amazon after resolving a lawsuit over On Patrol Live. Now, A&E, the On Patrol was a popular show that followed cops in real time live. Was very popular on A&E. In 2020, it was canceled, even though it was one of their most popular shows. Later, Amazon owned Reels, which comes through their MGM property, relaunched the show with a slightly different name called On Patrol Live and the same main host, while A&E Network sued them over this. Now, the lawsuit has been settled, financial details not announced, but as part of this lawsuit settlement, A&E Network content will be coming to Amazon Prime Video and other places to be sold and probably streamed free or through a subscription on Amazon Prime Video. This will give them access to more content through this A&E library deal. Very interesting that this has been settled. It was a wildly popular show and still is a wildly popular show, but it's kind of interesting. You know, A&E canceled it. It was being produced by a third-party company owned by Amazon. They said, well, if you're not going to air it, we're going to go somewhere else and air it. And A&E sued to block that. It was very interesting to see that they wanted that, but it seems like a deal has been reached to resolve that now. We'll keep a close eye on it, but any On Patrol Live fans, let me know. All right, last story of the day. Amazon's investing another $4 billion into AI. This comes as there's been a lot of talk about Amazon improving its own AI system. That premium version of Alexa would be coming. Has not happened yet, but it's reported to be coming. And with this, they're investing $4 billion into Anthropic. I hope I say that right. A company that's basically a competitor to ChatGPT, trying to build an improved AI that Amazon could then use for its own smart TVs, smart speakers, and the like as the AI-powered assistant there. We'll keep a close eye on this, but leave me a comment. Let me know. How important is AI to you? I find myself using it more and more just for things around the house. Play music, ask the weather, what's on my calendar today, and other places. Are you using it more and more? Leave me a comment, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. But Amazon spending billions to improve theirs. We'll see how it plays out. Well, that's it for today. I hope you have a fantastic day. I'll talk to you all again tomorrow. I know it's the holiday week. I hope if you are traveling for Thanksgiving in the United States, I hope you have a safe travel. I have done that many times myself. It's never fun. So be safe. We'll talk to you again real soon.